All right, the day is finally there. We're gonna set up the project and start developing the directory. So there's three things that I want to do today. One is set up Cursor AI, one set up Supabase, which will be the database that we're gonna use, and then V0, where we're gonna make the components with. I think we're gonna start with Supabase, just so we have the database done, and then we can directly import this into Cursor. Yeah, so if you have any questions, please leave it in a comment. Also, if you can, please subscribe. It would help me out a lot. And yeah, let's finally start building this directory. I'm actually very excited, so let's go. So what you want to do, you want to navigate to supabase.com and create an account. So probably if you never created an account, just press start your project. I already have, so I'm just going to add a new project, which will be under my own name. And then we're going to call it Bali Travel Directory. Just set a password that you can remember or use a password generator. I'll put it on Southeast Asia, Singapore, because then it's close by Australia, Indonesia, and I've assumed that the initial traffic might be coming from there. If the website will get a lot of traffic, we can add different servers as well. But for now, I think this is fine. Just press create new project and it will start creating the database. And then later, once this is done, we get a public URL and a anon key, if I pronounce it properly. And this is, yeah, so here's the public URL and then on public key. This we need to connect to our code base, and then we can add things to the database, read the database, etc. The thing I want to figure out today as well is MCP Supabase, because apparently you can connect this directly to Cursor, so it can directly read your database. Cursor don't exist at the following. Okay, let's figure this out later together. I think this might save me a lot of time because usually I would go back and forth between Supabase and Cursor. Okay, so Supabase is set up, the basics. What I also like to do, by the way, so if you go to Supabase and you go to SQL editor, they have quick starts and they have user management starter. So it will create a profiles table. Okay, so that's done. And then what we have now is a profiles table. So we can have users, and this is connected to the authentication table. Another thing I like to do right now, because I don't need email verification. So what you do, you press on authentication policies. Sorry, they moved it. Emails. Sign in, sign up. So then you press email and then confirm email, you just switch it off because we don't need it. Press save. And that's it. Because what this will do in the initial phase, if we're just launching the product, I don't want to set up email verification yet. Just like if someone registers, that's fine. Later, when we actually publish the project, I want to also maybe add other ways to log in, like Facebook, Google, etc. Okay, so this is it so far for Supabase. So we set up the project, we turned off the email verification, and then we created a table where we can store the user profiles. Okay, so now we're in Cursor. Website cursor.com, I think they have for macOS and also Windows. So basically we just download the project. I have a paid subscription because it will give you faster prompts, etc. You don't need it. If you don't want to spend any money, that's fine. So you would just download it, install it, and then once you open it, you get this screen. What you will do, you would just create a folder. I always put it on my desktop. I'm not sure if this is the most legit way to do it. Then what you want to do, open project, and then our desktop, Bali Travel Directory 2025. This now is our project. So what I always like to do is actually no. So in our cloud project, we asked them to create cursor rules. This is something new. So we can go to settings, cursor settings, rules, and then we can define rules here. So I want to figure this out. Like I've never did this before. So I'm gonna pull up Cloud and then ask for all the cursor rules that we need. So we're back at our Bali Travel Directory consultant. I'm just gonna ask with Super Whisper again. Earlier in this project, we defined rules that we can use for Cursor AI, basically for how we store components, like that we always end the URL with trailing slash, like SEO specifications and like any other specification. So the code base can understand and follow our conventions. Can you give me all those cursor rules that we created and maybe give some basic rules as well? so that we have a clean code base and that cursor is always acting in a way that it's proper. What I need as input is the name, description, and then a .md file with explanation on how it should execute it. Thank you. So as I mentioned, this is new for me. Like before we only had this where we just define front end, back end, database, Supabase. I'm not sure if this is still so relevant. I'm not sure if this is even good. Yeah, whatever. Let's see what it comes back with. Enforce folder structure, component listing, search admin. I'm just gonna add those with a dash instead of underscore. Then we have description. Then we have the rule content. Save. Not sure if this is the best way. Component structure, rules, add new rule. Not sure what's this auto attach. When you specify file patterns by our client, this will automatically include AI responses. TypeScript standards, that might be a good one. And again, guys, I'm not a developer. I'm just trying to make this efficient as possible for myself. We didn't put the description. Wait, this is this one. Settings, cursor settings. Okay, here. So this will be rule, your rules. Make sure of your consistency. Coding standards, naming conventions. And again, guys, if you have any feedback on this, please let me know, because this is all new for me. This we don't need. Like here it's the same. No, this one. SEO requirements. I'm gonna double check this one, because this is what I do have knowledge about. Cursor settings, rules. A new rule. This is fine. Performance standards. File. Sorry. Settings, cursor settings, rules. Gonna copy paste this in again. Next.js image component for images. This I don't know. Like lazy loading I know is good. I don't know if Next.js image component is the best. We can do research on that later. Database and API rules. Sorry if this is boring. I just think that since it's gonna be quite a big project, it's probably best to just add those. I'm also actually curious if it's actually always implementing this or if it's, yeah, not there yet. Didn't we just use, what is it? UI component standard. Paste this in. Git, no. I'm just going to say spelling for valid locations, valid specific conventions. Let's just add this as well. Specific conventions. That's that. Visited batch guidelines. I don't think that's important. Then what I also read online, also not sure if this is true. Sorry, this cloud file settings, cursor settings. It's saying that we need to enable YOLO mode. Script mode command should be executed automatically as just the models you're using. Just compilation command, command allow list. Prevents the agent from running automatically. When enabled, chat uses longer context windows. This may use more fast work. That's fine. Clubs data work. I think this is fine. And here we have the MCP, but this is from my other project. You know what? Let's just start without the MCP. So I'm gonna close all of this. Then basically also I want to, so we have the cursor rules, then we have project guidelines. I want to upload those files. So we have the technical sheet, new file, technical sheet.md. I'm gonna save this. So this is the sheets that we created earlier in the project, right? Where we basically define what we want. I'm just gonna put this next to each other. URL structure, structure.md. Paste it in, save. Page structure document, sorry, .md. Then implementation guides, implementation guide.md. Save, developer summary, complete database. So I kind of want Cursor to scope this project out for us. I'm gonna close all of this. And this is new for me as well. So basically I just gonna open the chat with Command L. I'm gonna select mode. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say like, okay, hey, following the cursor rules folder and the project guidelines, make a project scope with checklist on what we actually need to do. And then map out the whole project. And basically I also wanted to make logs every time that we finish a feature, so we know exactly what is done. So we have basically one checklist file. Okay, so I'm gonna use Super Whisper and say, okay, so I created a cursor folder and a project guidelines folder. In the cursor folder, I have rules defined on how we save components, URL structures, etc. Then I created a project guidelines folder, which the base structure of the database, developer summary, implementation guide, page structure, technical sheet, and URL structure. I want you to analyze all of this, and I want you to come up with a proper, very in-depth project guideline plan. And also, every time that we work on a feature, I want you to make notes and make a checklist on everything that we need to do. So we have like a proper project map, a project guideline, so that we know one by one we can start building features. What I also want you to add is that I will be creating the components in V0. So before that you create all the pages, just one by one, we work the pages through, and I make the design in V0. I will give you the code, and then you can generate the page based on this. It will be a Bali travel directory for me and my partner, Grace and Robin. And basically we will visit places and we review them, and then we build a Bali travel directory. We do not have a name yet, but we'll have it on the go. So please help me first with the whole project scope, outline, checklist, and then we can start building the project. Okay, let's see how this works. I'm just gonna let it run. Once it's done, I'm gonna open it again and then show it to you guys. Okay, let's see. So project overview, personalized Bali travel directory showcasing reviews and experience by Grace and Robin. Robin double B, that's okay. Location, venue, reviews, ratings, categorize listing, restaurants, beaches, attractions, etc. Search and filter. Rec 19 with TypeScript, Material UI plus shadcn UI, Tailwind, is that management, backend, Supabase, SR, PM, yes. Places, categories, reviews, photos, tags, place tags, design phase, user grades, components, yes. Project structure, correct. Core pages, hero section with features, category listing, list of place by category, filtering options. Just not sure if it actually got the whole structure with the stays and. Okay, so it's basically saying convert protocol requirement, finalize name for travel directory, set up initial project structure and database. I just want to make sure that you analyzed all the files in the project guidelines folder. I will tag it. And also because we have the structure with stays, destinations, beach clubs, wellness, dining, I want to make sure that you have this right from the beginning. And then first I want you to also make a proper .md file with all the information that we have, and then have a clear structure on the project scope, requirements, and also the step-by-step plan on how we're actually going to execute this. Then what you can do is add project guidelines. I thought I was able to. Maybe I just add the path. Let's see if this works. Just so that it has all the information from the beginning. Okay, it's basically I cannot. So basically what I will do, it should be able to add folders, no? Okay, you know what? I'm just going to do database, add developer summary, add implementation guide, add page structure document, technical sheet, add URL structure. Those are the files. Let's see what it comes back with. Okay, so now I think it actually analyzed everything. So it started here. So project overview is the same. Authentic first and travel directory for Bali using personal reviews. Then technical, yes. Backend, Supabase, Supabase SSR, yes. And there's listings, listing type, locations, categories, stay, dining, beach club, wellness, activity, yes. Content, features room, user profiles. Okay, so now it has it. Stays, dining, beach clubs, wellness, activities, areas, guides, visit badge, yes, page structure. Okay, so this is all done. So here it says project implementation plan, set up Next.js, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so maybe it can now. Okay, can you now make a proper executable plan with checklist for the whole project and store it in a folder in the project guidelines folder, naming project instructions and checklist or something like that, whatever works best for you. I'm just saying whatever works best for you because I have no clue. So let's see what it comes back with. And then it's actually funny. It's going to say 2 weeks, 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 4 weeks. We all have to do it in 60 days. So hopefully we can manage. I think we can, like definitely we can. Okay, I'm going to let this do its thing and then I'll get back to you guys. So now it came with a whole plan. What I'm going to do, I think if I press this, yeah. So now we have this file, 20-week plan. I'm going to accept it. I'm going to start a new chat and we're going to refer to this one and just say to set up the whole project. Okay, so we have this plan. So I'm gonna say add project exec. That's the one. So what I'm gonna say is, okay, so I want to start building the project. So first start with phase 1 with the project initialization. So please set up the Next.js project for me, configure Tailwind CSS, set up shadcn and everything related that we need to set up here. I will be using GitHub Desktop, so I don't think we need to do anything there. I already set up Supabase, so I can provide you with the website key and the on key. And then first just set up the whole structure, and then from there on we can move forward with setting up the folders and stuff. But first set up all the technical installations and also then make check marks in the checklist when it's done. So here it will give me things to do, right? So basically here it's saying create Next.js project with TypeScript. So also what we need to answer here. So all those things we need to enter as yes. Oh, it's not executing. But basically what you want to do is press run. It will open a terminal and starts this. So basically it's saying you click here and basically it's saying, okay, press yes. Yes. Would you like your code in a source directory? Yes. App router. Yes. Turbo pack. I think yes. It's not there. That is add by default. Yes. It's like configured. Add. So now it will just install all the necessary packages. I can already see there's an update available. So maybe we should update that. Okay, so this is done. Then install additional dependencies. So what I'm gonna do here is press run again. We'll open a new terminal. This all might seem overwhelming, but just follow the steps and you cannot really go wrong. Or if you go wrong, just ask it to like, hey, what did I do wrong? And you can improve. Now it's done. So we go to step 3, set up shadcn UI, run. Okay, so now here it's saying this. So actually with shadcn UI, I know that they changed so if you go to shadcn UI, basically what you want to do, you go to the documentation page, then you go to Next.js because we're working with Next.js. Then we download this. Wait, now it's creating the project already. So we need to run it in this one, sorry. Base color neutral. So make sure that you're in the folder where you're creating the project. So here what it did, it created a folder for me, Bali travel directory. So whenever you're running all the other installations, make sure that here you see the right directory. So for this one, maybe I'm just gonna check just in case if it's installed in that folder. Yeah, so that was already in that folder. So this is installed now, then create a prettier file. Do we already have this or no? Accept file, update this one, apply, accept. I'm not sure what this is doing actually. Apply. The only thing I want to make sure, this should be in the Bali travel directory. So I'm just going to copy this, paste this. So now it should create a folder, Supabase, I believe. I'm just going to ask it if it can do it for me. Maybe that's easier. Maybe it's with the thinking. Wait. What I'm going to do is this. Can I copy this all? No. I think it's because I'm in the thinking part. I think for the thinking, just use it for actual thinking. I'm going to stop this now. Can I switch model here? Please execute from step 6. Don't tell me what to do. Just execute. Let's see if that works. I think it's confused. It's not in agent mode. Wait. Make sure it's in agent mode. I don't know why it didn't do it. Please execute all the steps from step 6 mentioned before. Usually by default it's on agent mode. So please, if you open the chat, make sure it's in agent mode. See, now it's actually generating the file. All right, I'll let this run, and once it's resolved, I will get back to you. Okay, so basically it's done. The only issue that I noticed is it made a second folder here. And I think all this information should be stored there. So I'm gonna ask it if... Okay, so in the folder structure, we have the Bali travel directory, which should be the website, right? For some reason, out of this folder, another SRC folder is created with all the components and stuff. So I'm afraid that it didn't store it in the right folder. Can you please analyze this? And if this is the case, can you please move over the files into the right folder for our directory? Thank you. Copy, paste it. Once this is done, I'll get back to you. Okay, so the issue indeed was that it created this extra folder, which was not necessary. So I moved the files manually over. Not ideal, but okay. So I'm gonna move over to 3.7 only. And then I say, now we did all the steps. Can you edit at, how do we name that? Project execution plan. And the check marks for the steps that are done. Also tell me the next steps. We get still in the thinking module. So this should all be done, right? Then Supabase, and already did some folders. So we have the dashboard, we have the marketing. Marketing will be the landing page. Dashboard will be the dashboard where we manage the stuff. So now if we accept file, we can see, okay, this is, we created the Supabase. Okay, let's follow the file and set up Supabase. Here are my credentials. I'm gonna add the credentials and then let it run, and then you guys don't have to see the credentials. How about that? Okay, so it came back with this. So this is the SQL that we need. Go to Supabase, we import this. So let's check. This is the categories, then this is the locations, this is the listings. And it also created this stays table, dining, beach clubs, wellness. Okay, so this is basically all the tables that we predefined in Claude. We just run it, and then what you can see here, you can do auto layout. We can see all the, let me do this full screen for you. All the tables and how they're connected. So you can see that the listings are connected to the categories, to the beach clubs, to the... So this should all be fine, but we can figure this out later. And probably later we also need to do some SEO columns, because I see, oh no, that should be here actually. We can figure that out. Okay, then what it's saying, storage buckets. Did they also created this? So storage, we only have avatars. So let's see, here it's also made the checklist, right? So create Supabase, configure, set up storage buckets for media. So it set it up in the project, but not, we didn't actually create the buckets in Supabase with SQL. Can you give me the SQL? So basically it created the TypeScript and database types in the project, but not in Supabase. So it doesn't store anywhere. So now I'm just asking if it can just create those buckets and row level security parameters. And then, so I'm just gonna copy this and then go back to SQL editor, delete the previous one, add the new one, run it, and then we get an issue. I'm gonna copy this issue, go back to here and then paste it, and then probably it's just gonna rewrite it a little bit, and then, okay, it's basically saying do it ourselves. So let's do that. Storage, new bucket, listings, public bucket. What did it say? File size limit 10 megabytes. Maybe it's too low. Probably we need to, I'm not gonna do this because then it's just 50. So it says listings, profiles, public, and reviews. New bucket, public, save. That's done, so we can stop this, accept it, and then see, I manually created it. What are the next steps? So okay, I manually created it. Next step, the only remaining item phase one, set up an SEO component for meta tags. Project execution plan. So now it actually created this SEO component. Begin phase. This I don't want. Stop. Accept all. So now basically we see that all this is done. Can we try and build and run the project? I basically want to see if the next configuration, the React and everything is working. And then in the next episode, we're going to open V0 and start actually building the website. So now what it's doing, it's running the pm build command. So basically now it's trying to build the project. And now we can see it's actually running into some errors already. Probably it's automatically going to resolve. Usually if you open the terminal, there's here a problem tab. And this usually shows already what the issues are. Again, I'm not a developer, so I usually just have either Cursor figure it out. If Cursor cannot figure it out, I open Cloud or I open Google and it just figure it out. I had this with my previous project. So there's something new with cookies in Next.js 15 versus 14. So maybe we need to add this to the rules as well, just so it's always using the right format. I think it's struggling with that a little bit. We can actually ask what is the difference in cookie handling Next.js 14 versus 15. Maybe do Next.js 15 cookies, docs. Let's see if it can figure it out itself. Will be easier. And if we run into errors later again with the same thing, what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna upload the documentation of Next.js 15 and have it figured out itself. Okay, so it's fixed the issue. And then let me clear this. Let's open the terminal and then run pm the n. Still I got an issue. Let's copy this in. Okay, apparently I was just in the wrong folder. So right now you can see here in the terminal we're in Bali Travel Directory 2025. This is the main folder, but our application is in Bali Travel Directory. So we do cd Bali Travel Directory. Now you can see we're in the Bali Travel Directory folder. Then you run pm dev. It's already running on another page, so you can do command click. And now we can see that the application is installed correctly. So what we did today, just have the project execution plan. We're gonna move away from Obsidian, maybe Obsidian just for note taking, but now we have this plan here. So we set up everything here. GitHub, no, because we're gonna use GitHub Desktop. So we set up Supabase, we set up Cursor, we set up the database schema, we set up the basic SEOs, we created the core components. So if we look in the component folder here, so we have for the layout, we have the footer, the header, for the listings, we have the main components. And then tomorrow what we're gonna do, we're gonna work with V0 to start actually build out the pages and authentication system and whatever we need. All right, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoy this kind of content, please subscribe. And yeah, I'm finally getting excited because now actually we can do some cool stuff. See you guys tomorrow and have a good day. Cheers.